Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now I did a You Choose My Makeup again today on Instagram, and I decided to be clever and I decided to give 6 options, which, you know the saying, don't run before you can walk. Now with Instagram it allows you to choose between 2 options, so I thought I'll give you 6 options and I'll get you to scroll through. And as a result, because there aren't that many people actually voting, it became completely inconclusive. 1 second. So these were the choices I gave. So I gave Golden Goddess or Dolce Vita, and the result was 50-50. I then gave Vintage Vamp or Glamour Muse, and you chose Vintage Vamp 100%. And then I said the Rock Chick or the Bombshell, and I got 100% for the Bombshell. So I know which ones you don't want, but I've now got 50-50 on Golden Goddess and Dolce Vita, and I've got 100% saying the Bombshell and 100% saying Vintage Vamp. Now I did Vintage Vamp quite recently, so I can immediately rule that out. And I'm just so I'm going to go with what I'm in the mood for, and I'm in the mood for the Dolce Vita, but I will do Golden Goddess soon, because I haven't done that for a while, and I'll do Bombshell. I'll make sure I kind of fit those in the next couple of weeks, because people voted for that. And next time the moral of the story is to give you 2 choices, and that's enough. Okay, so I'm going to go and get ready and get this hair off my face that I can see in my eye but I cannot detect on my face, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to start with my primer, and today I fancied mixing Wonder Glow with this Complexion, because I'm loving this at the moment, just to see what it looked like. I still have that hair somewhere. I can see it, but I cannot detect where it is on my face. Vote now if you can see the hair. Okay, so I'm going to put a bit of Wonder Glow on my hand and a bit of Complexion.
You still running?
Okay, I'm going to mix the 2 together on my hand. The Complexion is a lot thicker than Wonder Glow, so I thought I'd mix them together. So it's going to be a bit of a lighter consistency. Okay.
Oh yes. Oh, switch it up. Now it's in this eye.
I love mixing things to see if they work. Get the best of both.
Can you hear these? You raking up, I can't hear. Yeah, it's too much static from my dabs. Is they shooting over there? Yeah, I'm getting shot at. Now, what's that? Is it raining?
Okay, that's my primer. And so I'm now going to go in to my best friend, Magic 6.75. And when I got my beauty blenders the other day, they had 3 for 2, which of course made me get 2 beauty blenders, and I thought I'd try this complexion brush. Don't know what it's going to be like. Haven't used it before, as you can see, but I thought I'd give it a go today with my Magic foundation. So I think actually you're supposed to put that into the... I'm just going to get a Q-tip, because I think you're supposed to put it in the centre there. Let me just... I'll tell you what, I'm just going to do this. I'll dot it round. I I think the idea is that you're supposed to put it in the centre there. Never mind. Okay.
Alright guys, let's do this.
Let's blend it in with this. Blends it out pretty well. I'm not sure if it doesn't take some of the coverage out of the foundation.
Did you try playing heavy metal music in the background?
Seems to be, well no, not too much. I was going to say it seems to be soaking up a lot of the product. But I definitely want more. Okay, I'm just going to put another layer on because I feel like it, and I'll be right back. Okay, now before I go on, every now and again I get a question that completely stumps me because it's such a basic question that it's actually really difficult to answer. And I just want to thank Lucy for asking this question because she really made me pause for thought the other day. And it was such a brilliant question. So she said she has the pressed powder of Charlotte Tilbury's, and what would be the reason to go for the loose powder in addition to the pressed powder? And it stopped me in my tracks, because I think if Charlotte had bought out the loose powder first and then she'd bought out the pressed powder, there would have been a better reason, i.e. now you can have this on the go, because this isn't going to be very handbag friendly, let's face it. But the other way round, it kind of stumped me and it got me thinking. So let me just show you. This is shade 2 of the pressed powder in medium. Okay, and I'm just going to swatch you this. I think there's a few differences, but let me just show you the very basic one now, which is the swatches. So it's going to be very difficult to see this because obviously it matches my skin tone. The Airbrush Flawless Finish powder doesn't have a shimmer to it at all. And when I say shimmer, it's the wrong word, because shimmer makes you think of kind of glitter particles, and it's finer than that in the loose powder. It's more like a kind of subtle radiance effect. Now the powder is lighter. I think they're all going to be a bit lighter, but it's got a slight shimmer. I can only use the word shimmer, but don't think highlighter shimmer. Think more radiance. Now, in terms of generically thinking about why to use a loose powder, why to use a pressed powder, I promised that I was going to show Lucy something, and I'm just going to grab it so that I can show her. Sometimes when you go in and you've just put on foundation and you want to set it with loose powder, and you want to set it with pressed powder, and you go in with your brush or with a kind of sponge like this, and you dab your powder over, and then you go back and you put it back in. What happens is that the pressed powder gets a bit contaminated and then becomes very difficult to work with, and I wanted to show you this. Now that's what has happened to that powder. So if you can see this bit, this is the kind of oil from the foundation that has kind of contaminated the top of that. And when I rub on the bits like that, I don't get any product off. But if I go around the side, I get product off. So one advantage obviously to having the loose powder is that the powder is sort of going into the lid. You're not contaminating the whole of the powder. Now when you're obviously touching up throughout the day, unless you've got really oily nose, in which case blot your nose first, if you're going in with a pressed powder, that's not going to happen because your foundation is already set, and therefore you're not taking the oils from the foundation and dipping it into your pressed powder. But yeah, that was how I got that on my pressed powder. And the only way for me to get rid of that now is to kind of scrape that off, that top layer, which I need to get around to doing. But I'm glad I haven't, because I can show you what happens. So that is one advantage. Secondly, I just think it's easier. You can make sure that you get a more even coverage because you can see the powder going on when it's loose as opposed to the pressed powder. There's a third more obvious reason, of course, in that you can't bake with pressed powder, whereas you can with loose powder. If you already have her pressed powder, do you need the loose powder? I would say possibly this powder is great, don't get me wrong. But if you're considering and you're trying to decide between getting the concealer and getting the powder, and you already have this, I would say wait until you've used this up and then get the loose powder and try it. This powder is great, you know, and I don't think I think this is such a hero product that people use. It's going to be difficult to top that. I think this is equally as good, and it gives a slightly different finish. So it just depends, but I would say that you're not going to lose out if you wait until this powder finishes and then try the loose powder, because this powder looks great. And as you can see, I've hit pan. And I haven't contaminated this, possibly a little bit there. So thank you for a brilliant question. Now I'm going to go in with the Magic Away concealer, and I had another comment from she's got, it's not a name, it's the name of a channel that she's about to do, and I've forgotten it completely. It's there, it's in front of my face, but you know who you are. Lady Million, that's it, Lady Million, saying that she tried this all day and that it creased. And I've looked at some of the reviews, and then I also looked at my very last shot, and I could see it was settling into fine lines a little bit. So obviously I got my parcel at 4 o'clock the other day, so I didn't have a complete day wear test, but I'm going to wear this as long as possible. We had a bit of a lazy start again this morning, but it's not 4 o'clock, so I'm going to try and wear this as long as possible and check back in with you. But I'm also going to do the Daniel Sandler trick of blotting it with tissue paper before I set it with powder to see whether that just takes that top layer of grease off, which is normally what makes it settle into fine lines. But don't forget that as you smile throughout the day, part of it is just normal physics, should I say, science, the laws of everything, that if you do that all day, then whatever's on your face is going to move and into fine lines a little bit anyway. But let's see how we get on. So I'm just going to squeeze this up a little bit more and make sure I have plenty to go in, and I'm going to take it down here, and then I'm going to pat. I have to say I do like the consistency of this because it's quite firm. I wouldn't leave it too long to pat in because it does seem to set quite quickly.
That is all very well, but follow me. I want to show you something.
I'm concentrating on this eye this morning because I've noticed, looking back in videos, but I don't pat this inner corner as well as the other eye. And I just thought that this one never looked as good. And I realised that it's to do with my application. So it's great actually, even if you don't want to start a channel, go and video yourself putting on makeup. You learn a hell of a lot. Right, I'm just going to take a tissue and do the Daniel Sandler trick. Not Daniel Sandler trick, what am I saying? Sorry, I'm going to do the Wayne Goss trick. It's because I did the Daniel Sandler foundation review yesterday. I've still got his name stuck in my head. So if I said Daniel Sandler earlier, I meant Wayne Goss. So the Wayne Goss trick of blotting the concealer, to just take the top layer of oil off it to prevent it creasing and settling into fine lines. And now I'm going to dust on the magic powder. I might put a bit more concealer on elsewhere, but I want to make sure that I set this as soon as I can with powder. So I've just tipped what is already in the top there of the lid, and I'm just going to dab that on. Another little tip I saw somebody doing is, you know where you've got lines, the lines go out like that, and if you go against the lines like that when you're putting the powder on, then it actually gets the powder in to the fine lines rather than just over the surface of them. So I've tried that and it does help. So you basically move in. The idea is the lines are going out, so as you pull in that way, you're just going over them, but if you're pulling in that way, you're actually getting into the lines a bit more. I just thought that was a really good tip, and that was from Sari Rihanna, who has got some very good foundation reviews. I started watching her a while ago because she had very severe acne, because I was looking at foundations that would cover hyperpigmentation, and she had very severe acne, and I just really admired her because her acne was very severe, and she used to come on with no makeup on, and I just thought she was such a strong lady. She still is, but her acne's cleared now, but I just really admired her, and she's just really knowledgeable about her stuff, so definitely worth checking her out. Not a lot of people seem to know about her. Now I'm just going to go over my forehead. I've got my retoucher now. It looks so similar to the Magic Away. And just go over here before I powder the rest of my face. I seem to be plagued by those little hairs today that are coming off everywhere. And I wouldn't mind if I had a cat or something, but I don't.
He likes to steal. He doesn't mean it in a bad way. It's just like a hobby for him. Oh, that's just great. Harmless, is he?
My first little blemish spot. I seem to have two matching ones coming up here. This is because I said to you all that I never get spots. So, never tempt fate.
Yes, my queen. Your knowledge of the rifts and their workings are second to none. How do you know how to manipulate them?
I was sent here by my planet elders. I was chosen. You don't think I got here by not being the most talented of my kind, do you?
And do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try this on my lids,
Yes, Oblivion.
because it's quite sort of, not sticky, but you can tell that things would grab to it. So I'm going to try it as an eye base.
Excellent work, Rapscallion. Now, if my calculations are correct, when the player I want goes through this rift, they will be teleported off the map. but only them.
Ah, I see. So it works off DNA. So when the player whose DNA you've used goes through this, it will teleport them to us?
Okay, and now I'm going to do the powder over the rest of my face, and I will be right back to put on my eyeshadow. I'll just do the rest of my face off camera, and then I'll be right back. Just hear you all crying. No, we want to see you applying the new powder, Ali. So I've gone back on camera. Okay, I'm just going to go down the centre.
Yes, I thought you'd never ask. Let's go.
I'm not going to go all the way to the sides, and I might just tiny set those eyelids.
Beside that mountain. Come on, follow me. Last one there has to buy ice cream for the whole squad.
Right, let's get on with the rest of the look. I'll just go and get the rest of my stuff, and I'll be right back. Okay, let's go in with the Dolce Vita, which is my second favourite after the Vintage Vamp. And I actually used this pop shade the other day over a colour chameleon in Golden Quartz. And it looked lovely over that. A few people asking me what I had on, So I'm just going to put the prime shade all over my lids. I won't use a colour chameleon today, although they do work superbly, as you know. I'm just going to put this actually on the inner corner, all the way up to the top. My spontaneous decisions as I go. And of course, go over there and go over there. Okay, now I'm going to put this on the outer corner, the enhanced shade, like so, and then blend it up and into the crease.
Teamed up to do so. What are you getting at, Oblivion?
It seems as though we have all...
Okay, I'm going to take this and also blend that in to the enhanced shade and take that under the eyes.
More intriguing than Drift. He may be new, but he has the potential to be the best.
And up
And he's struggling
to lift my eyes.
Maybe so, but our reports that you're telling us that Drift is currently stuck in a rift.
Okay, now I'm going to take Bedroom Black and I'm going to put it under the lash line into the tight line.
Whoa. What happened?
And then I'm going to take the smoke shade and I'm just going to dot that along the upper lash. Very gently, I just want it tucked in right into the upper lash line. Okay, and then a little bit of the smoke shade just tucked in at the corner, as I have done before, just to intensify that outer corner.
I don't think he knows where he is, or even who he is. I mean, he would have easily built his way out of this mess by now, or realized that they're just statues, not real dinosaurs.
Now,
To come with us.
with the pop shade,
Who he is.
I'm going to stamp it on
So down and talk to him. I can't believe he survived
here.
this.
I think this has got to be my favourite pop shade. Did you know that she's bringing out a palette of pop shades in October? They're all pop shades. And there's kind of, looks like a burgundy one and actually there's two palettes. There's one that's sort of more grey tones and there's one that's more kind of vintage vamp type tones. Do you see how the second side always goes on more? So you have to go back because your finger's warm and you have to go back to the first one. One sec, Jack just fell over, he's okay. And the moral of the story, apart from not falling over, is to not try and clean up the outer edge with the finger that you've just put the pop shade on. Because now I have glitter all down the side of my face, which I cannot get off, but I'll deal with that later. Okay, and I'm now going to just go in with my black eyeliner from Charlotte Tilbury. Took that one too high up, didn't I? That's better. Okay, and so I'm just going to put my mascara on and I'll be right back. Okay, little trick called drop shadow. I think that's what they call it anyway. Inspired by my headband. I'm just going to put this in the waterline. Okay, I'm now going to put on some blush and some lipstick. So let me go and get a blush. I think Dolce Vita calls for ecstasy blush. That's what's in the look. Also, my first love blush finally smashed into pieces. Anyway, I'll get the ecstasy blush, I think. Okay, I've done my brows off camera, and now to ecstasy blush. For those of you in the UK, it's bank holiday weekend this weekend. Just wanting to know what you're up to. Anything exciting? I haven't made any plans at all, apart from having some family over on Monday for a meal and spending some time with my son, hopefully watching some films. Let me know what you're up to. So that is ecstasy blush, and I think I shall use the Bar of Gold palette. Why not? Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit of this on first, which is the Beauty Light wand, and hopefully I'll make that glitter look like it was on purpose. There's method to my madness. and that will just help the highlighter stick and be a little bit more vivid, because I want to glow. So, where is my sculpt brush? I think I shall go in with a bit of rose gold. I think I'll put a bit of the darker gold. What was that called? The gold bullion over the top as well, because it will go a little bit more with the pop shade. Warm it up a bit more. And then with my little pinky, I'll just dab a little bit of this. By the way, I meant to say a little story about Benefit. I was near a Benefit counter myself, because I've been chatting to Deborah about Benefit. I was near a Benefit counter myself last week, and I was just looking and browsing, and I said to this woman that worked on the Benefit counter, I really love the new pen, but I wonder if they're going to bring out refills, because what if you use one of the items before the rest? And she said, well, you just have to use them evenly then. And I looked at her and I said, are you kidding me? So you mean to tell me that that little bit there that you highlight with, because there's a highlighter in the pen, you're going to use this, you want me to use the same amount of highlighter as I would on my entire brow, just so that I use the pen evenly? And she went, yeah, I don't know if they're going to bring out refills. Some people. I just have to use it evenly then. Not actually, that's a good point. We didn't think about that. Maybe we should thought about that. But do you know what? That's your fault. You should just make sure you use it evenly. So when you're using your Benefit pen, right, just make sure that when you're putting on the brow product, for each stroke, then you put the same stroke of highlighter on and the same stroke as definer on. Because if you don't, it's your fault. Anyway, there's my rant over for the day. I'm just going to get my lipstick. Okay, the reason I picked this lipstick today, I did actually pick the lipstick, but the lip liner was basically because I have to bend down at the moment to reach in for my lipsticks, and I really couldn't bend that long. So it's going to go with the lipstick. That's it. Okay, so it is the lip cheat is in Bond Girl. And the lipstick is in Stoned Rose, which is slightly lighter than the lip cheat, but it doesn't matter. It will blend in. Blends in quite nicely now. See, if I hadn't been in pain and my back hadn't been sore, I would never have discovered that combo. So there is always a positive. I just need to finish off with some bronzer from my Bronze and Glow, and I'm done. So my absolute favourite part of my makeup is putting bronzer on. I don't know why, just love it. Probably why I go over the top with it, just because I love putting it on. And a little trick, which I've shown you before, to further define your eyes. Squeeze your bronzer brush together, get some bronzer on it, and just go like this. See how it further defines your eyes? Look at that.
What?
I thought you were going to say something naughty then.
I said a scar.
Ah.
A scar, it's a Fortnite weapon.
Good. So, there you have it. Let me bring my scarf. My hair's a bit of a mess, but I will zhuzh it up for the final photo. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to be relaxing for the rest of the bank holiday weekend. But do keep your messages coming in. I love them. Don't forget, I am on Instagram. And it is Mals70 _ Ali's. Try again. Mals, that's MALS 70 _ Ali M's Beauty. No apostrophes, just ALIMSBEAUTY. Please come on there, and I will do another poll, but this time I'll just give people 2 choices, and then we'll get a proper score. Okay? Well, we got a proper score, but we'll get a conclusive one. I keep thinking that I'm putting out polls as though I've got 50 million subscribers, and actually I need to remember that I haven't got that many people following me yet on Instagram. So let's just stick to 2 choices from now on, and lesson learned. All right, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Any questions, keep them coming in, and I will see you next week. And we're off to go watch a little film on the telly. There must be a little film on the telly that we can watch and agree on. All right, take care. Have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye. Sorry, I nearly forgot. I haven't forgotten to do a check-in later on so that you can see whether or not this crease is under my eyes. So I'll do that briefly. Yeah, okay, sorry about that. I will definitely do that. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It has been 6 hours since I put this concealer on. I am going to be taking it off soon because I want to settle down and have some family time and cook some dinner. But I just wanted to check back with you. It hasn't creased at all. Now, in fairness, it did crease the other night when I did that final check-in. So I think the trick is to use the Wayne Goss technique of blotting the concealer before you set with powder, and that is the trick. Now, quick update, I got some more votes. So just to tell you the votes. Now, the moral of this story is I'm going to do this again. But I'm going to give you a bit more time to vote so that more of you can vote. But these are the final scores. So 43% asked for Dolce Vita and 57% asked for Golden Goddess. 71% asked for Vintage Vamp and 29% for Glamour Muse. And then I had 33% asked for the Rock Chick, plus one person asked on the comments in my live for the Rock Chick, and 67% asked for the Bombshell. So obviously I gave 6 choices, so it looks like people voted for all 3. So it's given me an idea. So the next time I will be doing, let me see, I've done Vintage Vamp very recently, so check back on that video. I'll do it again. Obviously you like that because I got a vote of 71%. But next time I will do the Bombshell because that came out at 67%. And following that I will do the Golden Goddess, which came out at 57%. Then after that I'll do the Rock Chick. And today you saw the Dolce Vita. So Glamour Muse came out last. So I'll do that at some point. But definitely next time I'll do the Bombshell. And I will do some votes again. But next time I'll do a vote between two looks. And you can choose. Actually, what I will do next time is I'm going to give you 24 hours. And I'll say, shall I do the Bombshell or the Golden Goddess? Okay, and I'll put that up. I'll put that up on Friday so that you've got 24 hours to vote for me to do it on Saturday next week. How about that? Okay, so next Friday on Instagram I will put up a vote for you to vote between the Bombshell and the Golden Goddess next, and then whichever one comes out first I'll do on Saturday, and then I'll do the other one the following week. All right, but this is all held up really well. The foundation, the concealer, look at that. I'm just going to zoom in. No creasing whatsoever. And my eye's been watering. So, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I'm going to go and make sure this gets uploaded. I'm sorry it's getting uploaded really late at night. The reason for that is, for some reason, it's sometimes taking 3 or 4 hours to upload. So I kind of put it on and go to bed and leave it to upload. Okay, so that's why you're getting it. Probably notifications in the middle of the night. Don't know what to do about that. Anyone got any tips? Let me know. Alright, take care and thanks for watching. And by the way, just a little message. If any of you are interested in the foundation that I reviewed yesterday, I forgot to tell you that on Daniel Sanders' website you can actually order samples for £2. So if you're not sure of your shade, you can order a sample for £2. I think you get something like 3 mils, and then you can try out the colours, which is a lot more than the normal sachets that you get. So yeah, if you're interested in that, or you just want to see what it looks like on your skin, it's really good that you can get the samples. And I'm really gutted that I didn't say that in the review, but never mind, it's never too late. Take care and have a great weekend, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.